Oh, hello Integrals and Differentials. It's all welcome back to my kitchen. And on today's menu, I'll be serving you a survival guide on this year's standard rotation, where basically you're not going to be able to play some cards anymore, which means you have to change your deck or scrap some of them completely. And this is going to happen on September 1st, less than 2 months away from this video. And that's, well, before you know it, it's going to be here. Now, expanded format is not going to change. I'll set it right here and read the next sentence carefully and see what it implies. This format will continue to be aggressively monitored to ensure fair gameplay balance, and individual cards may be banned periodically. And a little bit under there, they states Lysander's trump card and shift tree will continue to be banned. Thinking back at that shift tree, it destroyed, well, expanded format, so they had to quickly remove it. Then it became okay. But in the unlimited format, which was removed completely, this thing was so broken that they just couldn't keep it. So they had to change stuff up so the combo would be broken. And now we have Legacy. Just one card, man. Just one broken combination. Okay, so you can sort of feel like what might be the case, why rotations are healthy, even though I'm not specifically going into it. Although, let's say that broken combinations, or when I say that, strong ones, really strong ones, like, here we go, what made it to US Nationals, item locks. Okay, we see Trevenant, Seismitoad locks, cards that you cannot play items the entire games. And items are essential to setting up your deck. Like, you need them. So it is not fun to play against them. I mean, if you played against these, then you know. Oh, it is awful. And what else? We see Night March. Decks that are extremely efficient. They go through their entire deck set up in one turn, and for one double cause energy, one energy card, one shot all your Pokemon. And this sort of efficiency is just so strong. Turns out that almost every one of these decks are going to be rotated out, so you don't have to deal with item locks. You don't have to deal with that insane efficiency. I said almost, meaning one deck. Let me close this. This deck is gonna survive, and it just if you just look through it, this sort of deck kind of tells you what I think will be strong in the next meta. So, okay, this shakes up the meta. This forces players to come up with new things, and developers, they aren't tied down to the past anymore, because now you don't have to make new cards that destroy the meta. Make better and better and better cards, and you have power creep, or just make cards that would have been okay, but because they don't change the meta, they just pass down as nothing. So that is probably a very complex way to describe why rotations sort of happen. You sort of get it, but okay. Now let's move on. Which cards matter? Alright, so let me close this, and I know I intentionally removed a bunch of cards that I was going to talk about from this because there's just not enough time. So the biggest ones, or ones that, you know, I like to say goodbye to, they're here. And alright, let's go down the list. Let's get started. Miltank. This card probably isn't going to be a big deal, but is one of the things I want to say goodbye to, because Miltank is great in rogue decks. 1 energy, and with a stage 2, any deck that runs the stage 2, you get 80 damage. Really efficient, only worth a single prize cards, and it could kick a lot of butt. But didn't see it around these days, so even if it goes, it probably won't change the meta so much. But I will miss you, this mighty Miltank. And right, moving on, we have Florges. It's gone, and why was it good? Because you could splash it in any fairy deck, and it would have been awesome. 2 energies up to 120 damage just for filling your bench. Just for tossing a basic Pokemon down, you got 20 damage bonus. And, well, it wasn't too big of a deal, so I guess no one will miss it. But don't worry, I'll miss you for this. You were pretty good, and could have been pretty good after the meta change. Now, Aromatisse was basically a cheaper, faster version of Golduck. And because Golduck is here, it's at least you have Golduck, but basically you could move fairy energies around wherever you like and just set up another Pokemon that was healthy on your bench, send it out, and there you go. Stage 1 only takes 1 Pokemon or just 1 evolution to set up. Works with Level Ball, and now that it's gone, well, it's gonna be 1 turn slower. That's okay, you still got Golduck. Alright, so not too bad, but you will be missed. Alright, fighting. They got screwed over big time because Furious Fist, unfortunately, was all about fighting Pokemons. Had a lot of fighting techs that are now gone. Garchomp isn't removed, but Cornug is gone. Cornug brought out any fighting Pokemon and any item, which was a rare candy, so now it's tougher to set up Garchomp, which was really good because it could pretty much one-shot EX Pokemons on the level of Night March. Now, oh, it needed 20 more damage because it only does 160, and what else unfortunately got removed. Now, let me go down and closest to trainer. Muscle Band. This was the 20 damage it needed to reach 180. And what else? Fighting Stadium. All fighting Pokemon do 20 more damage and can easily KO, help your EX Pokemons out. Now, it's gone, so Garchomp was like, oh, I needed that. And Strong Energy, which, fighting decks, you just lost a lot of damage boosting effects that you originally had, so that sucks. And one more final item, Focus Sash. Basically, those hard damage attacks, they usually will be able to take down, hey, it's just 130 damage Garchomp, but now you have to do 2 hits in order to get it out, meaning fighting Pokemon's traded really efficiently with a Focus Sash, and now that it's gone, it was potentially something that could have been strong after your rotations, but oh, that sucks. But luckily they still have Regirock, so things like Machamp, we got something to replace you. It'll be less effective for sure. I think you can still make this work. Okay, so what else? Hawlucha. Honestly, Hawlucha isn't a big deal, but you could splash it really easily in any fighting deck because hey, no retreat, 1 energy did easily 2-shot potential with all the rest of the cards I mentioned, all those damage boosting effects. So, well, it's not a big deal, but you will be missed, Hawlucha. Alright, and Lucario. It was pretty much the biggest, baddest fighting Pokemon for a long time, and this thing was replaced with Zygarde. So if you need a substitute, stick in Zygarde. You get pretty much the same thing, same damage, so this is just a tribute. I'll miss you, Lucario. But, I already got Zygarde waiting. So, that's it for fighting. Fire. Flash Fire was all about fire. So, we see Pyroar. They came with a Pyroar break, but the best Pyroar is going away, which sucks. Why was it good? Basically, basic Pokemons, which is probably gonna be very strong next meta, can't hurt this. And this was quite powerful back in the day. It's not so big anymore, but man, the new Pyroar is gonna come out, and this was one of the cards you really wanted to use it with. And Protection Cube. Where is that? Oh, I gotta close this down. Click Trainers and Protection Cube. Not a big deal. Nobody actually saw this, but it was going to synergize with Nidoqueen and Pyroar Break, and because it's gone, it's not gonna be as good. But it won't be missed. You hardly ever saw this. Okay, and the big one. Blacksmith. This was a very insane energy booster. 2 fire energies from your discard, and fire energies in fire decks, they love to be in the discard. They just popular there, and now you can't quite charge up fire Pokemons as fast. It was very strong. Now it's gone, so it's gonna break a bunch of decks. Okay, so fire decks. Well, goodbye Flash Fire. Goodbye lots of fire decks. Okay, now Night March. I'm glad to see this one go because the efficiency and waiting opponents 3 minutes, and then if I had to go against this, it means I gotta talk about everything you do. And now, okay, you play Night March. Everybody knows about that. It's just too efficient. It's gone. Thank gosh. All right, Manectric. You weren't really too broken, but this is one card that I'll miss. I'm gonna miss you, Manectric. Only 2 energies. You were the first great Mega Pokemon. No retreat and energy acceleration all in one package. And plus, your previous evolution was good. 2 energies, 120 damage. I'll miss you, Manectric. I'll miss you. Okay, moving on. Oh, Metal. In Phantom Forces, there were a lot of cool metal decks. So, Aegislash, special energy cards cannot, or Pokemons with them, can't hurt this thing. And next meta is going to be the special energy meta. So, we lose you. We lose one of the hard counters that could help against that. So, whew. And plus, you can stick this in pretty much any deck. And so, Metal, we're going to lose quite a good powerful counter. And actually, Aegislash has been a big deal, even in this meta. Bronzong! Man. You are so good in metal decks. You were easy to set up. Stage 1, 90 hit points, works with level ball. Metal Link basically gave you an extra energy you can put on your metal Pokemon. That's a big deal. And now it's losing its core energy accelerator. So metal decks, we're just gonna have to use something else. Alright, Trevenant. Goodbye, Trevenant. I will definitely not miss you. I will definitely not miss not being able to play any of my items through the entire game. But, you know, it's fun when you're on this side, but on the receiving end, misery. So, back to, you know, just fighting it out. Punching each other with just powerful attacks. And that's more my style, and that's more Pokemon-ish, right? Yeah. Alright, Crobat. It's not going to be a big deal. Mega Alakazam was here, but this is more of tribute saying goodbye, Crobat. You were pretty cool in a lot of rogue decks, but Alakazam replaced you, so it's okay. I like Alakazam better anyways. Man, well, if I miss you, I can just find you in Pokemon Go, catch all the Zubats around. And Seismitoad has been every Nationals deck year after year, so now he's finally gone. Item locks. It's nice to be in the meta where you can actually play items and not be frozen the entire game. So more breathing space, much more breathing space. Item lock, so toxic. Goodbye. Bye, Seismitoad. We're good. Okay. I'll miss you. Not a bit at all. And I have Banette here, but we gotta talk about this. Soroxic, which removes items, and where's that other Pokemon? Starling Megaphone. These were the only 2 trainers that actually remove Poketools. They're both gonna be gone at the same time. I don't think Pokemon was intentionally doing this, so probably something is gonna be reprinted for this, but you have no way to remove items now. Oh, wow, this means cards like the Fighting Fury Belt. Where is it? This thing. 40 hit points, 10 damage. This is one of the things that's going to forecast the next meta. When you can't remove items, now you can't remove those bursting balloons, or, well, we don't have to worry about the Focus Sash, but hey, what about Garbodor? Well, this is why that's going to shape the next meta in quite a bit. So, well, what can you do about it? If you really must have some sort of item removal without using an attack, like Eradicate. Okay, Hey, but net, which all Poke Tools in play have no effect, including your own. So, well, it is a solution that doesn't require an attack, and maybe it may have to be used, or maybe Eviltal. But this hero can squeeze into every deck, so it's kind of like the next best thing if you must have this. Alright, so we talked about Pokemons, we talked about some of the trainers, but now let's go through all of them. I know why this is here for that. Super Scoop Up and AZ. These were two choices that allowed you to pick up your Pokemon and put them back down. And they're big because they work very well with Shaman and other cards too, because you could completely heal off all your Pokemon with this, or repeat powerful cards like Hoopa and draw power cards, well, Shaman. So with them being gone, it's going to be less reliable. Yeah, well, at least you have De-Evolution Spray that's still here but doesn't affect those critical cards. And we have, oh, we're almost done, one more big one, Battle Compressor. Why is that not here? So this is gonna be the pretty huge, because a lot of cards run decks. 4 Seekers, 4 Battle Compressors was in pretty much every single Nationals deck. Basically, you take out your supporters that were more situational, so Roxic, Hexmaniac, Sycamore, and made it work with Verse Seeker. And Verse Seeker, anything out once you just put them there. So that your accuracy with supporters essentially is going to decrease when you run these sort of decks. And that's okay, because just how do you deal with this? You just remove your Battle Compressors and added more Ends, added more Sycamores, and an extra Lysander. Yes, the accuracy will reduce, but your card flow is just gonna be the same or similar. So you can cope with this. Yeah, okay. So it is a big one, but it's okay. Now, Dimension Valley. This works so well with a lot of Psychic decks. Having 1 energy at last for something that didn't cost a supporter and, well, maybe even an attack. Mewtwo, well, Phantom Forces is gonna lose a lot of special cards like Gengar. Oh, Gengar, I forgot to say goodbye to you, but I see that I glossed over my poor Landorus back there in the fighting section, but he's here because he was such a good splashable card. It's kind of like Kalucha that you could pretty much throw in any fighting deck. And what he did was, well, he's a basic that's not in the X. So things like Regice just easily plow through. With all the damage boosts and all the stats enhancing stuff that fighting Pokemons have, this 20 damage could easily have been 40, 60, even 100, and gave you an extra energy that you could do a turn for fighting Pokemon. So he was pretty much the only fighting energy acceleration they had. Now we have Carbine Break, and he's been completely replaced already. So even though he's going away, we got a substitute. Nah, I won't miss you too badly. Although, nope, you're here because I wanted to say farewell. Thank you, Landorus, for all you do, but I got Carbine Break. He's here now. Okay, so that's that. I talked about all the major cards that I wanted to. Now I know there's things like Hard Sharp, Cassius. We're gonna leave them out, and we're gonna move on, and many others. So, what now? Well, you kind of know like which decks you can't do anymore, which decks, or maybe how to substitute the missing cards. But what's gonna be left of the current meta? Now it's kind of hard to say that, oh, things that are good this meta that will stick around are gonna be good for the next one, but let's just, you know, let's go talk about who's gonna survive. Greninja! Well, this guy is getting rotated. You're gonna lose this potential to, you know, throw an extra 30 damage, but that's okay, because you only have 2 of them in the deck, and these guys are pretty good. But for the most part, Greninja Break, quite a dominant deck that didn't quite make it because, you know, Night March and item locks. He was pretty high up. So, hey, he'll still be around, which means that if Greninja's around, then, hey, you got Sceptile. And the reason Step Styles started cropping up was everybody was using Greninja. And what eats up water Pokemon that are weak to grass? Grass! I don't know where I was going with that, but 2 energies. He was energy efficient. He had a lot of healing, or has healing, that can take care of those annoying water burst attacks from the abilities of the Greninja to hit your bench. So he heals bench Pokemon, and he serves as a direct counter to Greninja. So these 2 will be slugging them out in the meta. And Rayquaza, 240 damage, instant first turn evolution, 220 hit points. You're still here. I mean, I know there's a parallel city which can cripple this deck, but this power still exists, and if you don't have the right counter, you don't pull out the right cards in your deck, you can go out of control. So, gotta keep an eye on this one. And the final one, it's unfortunately not a deck that I haven't done yet, but one I want to take a look at is this Greninja, Giratina, and Darkrai. Especially the deck that made the runner-up to Nationals. What was special about that? Basically, it was something that didn't use item block, was not a Night March deck that plowed through. And basically, it's sick, or represents the sort of strength that I think will be strong in the next meta, which is basic Pokemon tech. So I'm gonna close this. Let's look at 2 big trainers that help basic Pokemons. Max Elixir, something you can throw in any deck that gave you 1 more energy, 1 turn faster to charge your Pokemon. Oh, and it works with, of course, basic Pokemon only, and Fighting Fury Bell. 40 hit points, putting any non-EX at EX level, and it put EX level Pokemons at Mega level. 200 hit point Pokemons running around everywhere, and you can't remove this. Because hey, those Starling Megaphones, Roxic, they're gone. So these 200 EX Pokemons, Mega Pokemons, they're going to be running around. And I think those sort of decks is what the meta is going to shift to. Now, I don't know. I'm just making predictions, and we'll know when it comes out. But taking a look at Giratina already, the fact that, well, was able to squeeze up there is kind of, telling me something. And also, looking at the next cards in Steam Siege, you have special energy acceleration. You have ways to make Mega Pokemon even stronger. So, I think the next meta is going to be very EX heavy. And just look at all the techs that can help them out. And I think you may kind of figure it out. Also, Pokemon Ranger was a natural counter to, well, let's say Regice was a natural counter to EX Pokemon. Poke Ranger removes this effect, removes effects from Jolteon, Glaceon. So now there is a trainer card that EX Pokemons can respond to against these annoying things. But will it be enough? We'll see. Battle Compressor is gone, so you may or may not have the card to go through this, so it still will be a fight between EX cards and counter EX cards. But for the most part, hey, use your Max Elixirs, use your Fighting Fury Belts. I think we're going to see a lot of those decks in the future. Well, that makes sense. Those things are still strong. Okay, so I think that's it for now. We know why, a little bit why rotations happen, what cards are going, how to fix them, and what sort of decks might be strong in the future. That's it for now. Thank you very much, Integrals and Differentials. I will see you back in my kitchen next time for a Millhound Doom deck. Okay, bye-bye.